Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Welcome back to the BearNet. Here again today are myself, Galaxy Commander SansDaedalus of the Seng Bloodhouse, Star Colonel Ghozzt of the 12th Bear Chevaliers, and Mech Warrior Aleksandr Wolf. Joining us as a guest is Mech Warrior DONTOR of the Jorgensen Bloodhouse. This will be our last Twitch before the release of the Clan Mech Pack tomorrow, so it is a bit of a so long and final hurrah for the Innersphere mechs that have suffered us, or tormented us, depending on your opinion, for a while. Tonight's theme is Dakka. We will be fielding heavies and assaults with as much AC love as possible, with the exception of DONTOR, who's going to start off with his triple Ghozzt Ilya as a farewell to the mech, because the mechanic is being changed tomorrow, and he will not be able to use his 3 Ghozzt rifles anymore.
Yay!
Yep.
No.
We will also be having a discussion as the Twitch goes on about the general feel of the clan release. We've got some prepared topics that we'll be going over as we play. So, the mech lineup will be Ghozzt and Alex in Cataphract 4X's sporting 2 UAC 2s and 2 UAC 5s and 2 AC2s. DONTOR in his triple Ilya Ghozzt Fract, and myself in a Banshee 3E with 2 UAC 2 UAC 5s and 2 AC2s.
Already got stuck on those UAC 2s, huh? You've been playing that clan stuff for like 2 different days?
It's just so much Dakka.
Alright, guys.
Alright, do we want to run through these questions as we're actually playing?
Yes, we are starting our search, so go for it.
Alright, our first topic here will be the clan testing experience, which is just kind of a general impressions on the new release and what it's going to be bringing to the table for MWO. We'll start with the UI. Ghozzt, do you want to take this first, or you want me to keep talking?
Sure, I'll take it. I just thought my first impression was that it was astounding, actually. I was very impressed with the detail of it. I thought it was a nice fresh change. I felt like I was in a clan mech. I did not feel like I was in some IS piece of trash like I was before, so definitely impressive for that, in that regard. So.
Alright.
I think the biggest thing for me was just, I watched the video log that they put out, number 5. If you guys haven't had a chance to check that out yet, definitely worth a look.
Yeah.
The comments, I don't remember who it was, might have been, it was a woman, I don't remember what her title was, I think she was lead cockpit design or something along those lines. And she's exactly right. She said, you know, we tried to make the clan cockpits and the clan UI feel different. It's supposed to be like you're in a more confined space, but everything looks modern. That these are newer mechs, that they are built for battle, and that there's a purpose in these machines. It's not like, you know, how some Innersphere pilots had to live for days out of their mechs. You know, it's that, you know, you go in, you destroy things, and you're done with the battle for the day. You know, we've taken the planet, we're moving on to the next thing, and that's definitely something I get every time I jump into a clan cockpit. You know, you're in a clan mech.
Yeah, that was another of their listed goals. Is that they wanted spectators to be able to tell clearly the difference between IS and clan mechs at a glance, and I think the UI does a very good job of telling people who don't necessarily know much about the lore what mech they're spectating, whether it's an Innersphere mech or a clan mech.
Clan Windex is better because the windows were cleaner as well.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yep.
OP, Clan Windex.
Yes.
PGI must nerf now.
Well, a little bit of gasoline goes a long way.
I think the other thing is, one of the things I was most impressed with, both Thursday and again Sunday, even more so Sunday because they cleaned up a couple things that I noticed. Just the way everything fires and the way everything looks. I don't remember which one of you, I think it was either Sans or Ghozzt the other day, that asked me, are each of the tubes realized on like an LRM launcher for clans? And as far as I could tell, I was watching a summoner, I think it was a Prime variant with the 15 on it. And I'm pretty sure that I saw all 15 tubes being used to launch. So that in itself was impressive.
Right.
It took the time to do that much detail for something like that. Now I haven't watched a full, you know, kitted out Timberwolf with its LRM-60 do it yet, but given what I saw so far, I'm pretty sure it'll be close to being pretty damn impressive.
One of the things
Alright.
I also liked about the cockpits was the Nova and its freshly installed cockpit glass with the suction cups on it. That was a good touch.
Yeah, I was wondering about those myself.
But no,
That's
I
pretty
really
interesting.
gotta-
The Warhorn placement on the Nova is pretty cool. It's up and high and you can't really
Yeah.
see them.
Yeah, that's the only complaint I would have about the clan cockpit, is I think most of the Warhorns are in kind of
In your way.
intrusive places.
Yeah.
So, anybody else notice that the extreme loadouts for the Novas, the weapons just completely get pushed off the screen? It's nice. By nice, I mean not.
Could you guys escort me towards Kappa in the first bit? I'm gonna one-hit a light.
You are an asshole, but since it's your last night of being able to do this, I suppose yes.
Why do we agree to that
Alright.
again?
I don't know. I don't. That's just going to be some poor sad light. It's going to be like, I'm going to cap it. No, you're not.
I better see a 1500 damage game from you, Dontor.
Sensors online.
Yeah, it can only max out around 700.
Why is he here again?
I don't.
Oh, we got some good
I
pilots
almost
on our
just
team.
quit the match instead of put arm lock on. That
Now,
was
wait.
close.
Well, don't get that upset, Dontor.
I am pretty upset.
I think to get back to the topic at hand, I think the sounds of everything too, like just the PPC
Yeah, that's-
noises
That was actually
was
our
just
next point.
was phenomenal. The large lasers firing off sound great. The LRMs when they fire in stream mode, especially, it's just I just love the noises.
Yeah,
Do
I
they
was,
have any like
I was actually very impressed by the sounds. I think that the clan weapons in general have a more aggressive, kind of ominous sounding, but also more high-tech sound to them.
Yes, yes.
I was very
Modern.
pleased.
It's a modern sound, I think.
there's no lights at Kappa, it's all heavy mechs.
Artillery. Activate. Loading incoming missile.
A lot of them off to our left flank.
Alright, we're gonna consolidate back to Charlie 4. We've
You've
got...
also got open mic.
Who has an open mic?
Dontor, he fixed it.
How many do you see in Echo 3, Dontor?
4 or 5.
Delta Centurion is primary. Switch to Echo.
I already strapped at the end of the boat. Target Bravo, open side torso.
Bravo, Cataphract.
Curve
Metafract.
CT. Target Echo, Dragon Slayer jacked up.
Dragon Slayer is down.
Roger.
Target acquired.
That Griffin's up by himself out there.
Yep.
Box.
He's down.
Go on,
He's
destroy
dead.
it!
New target.
Alpha
acquired.
Gigamech. Down.
Yep.
Kappa.
Alright.
7 shots left.
Still some contacts on Kappa.
Yeah, there's about 3 in the Delta 3, Echo 3 area.
Left flank on the boat.
Yep.
Something with ECM over there.
Yep. I think it's Atlas.
Atlas.
We've killed 5, they
Target
killed 5.
acquired.
Yeah, we've got a strong advantage. There's a Jester on the corner of that boat in Echo 3.
They gotta have mechs inland somewhere.
Yep. Alright, let's
Take a
just
red
hard push
ballistic
around.
torso.
Let's
Alright,
hard
push,
on
go.
On the cap. Push.
Moving.
Alex, let me take the
They got a
front.
lot of cap actually. Their whole
Yeah,
team
I'm down.
might be there.
Yeah, that's got 3 or 4 solid.
Acquired. New target acquired.
Switch to Hotel Atlas.
Goes down.
No, not the Ghozzt.
Alright. That Atlas is all that's left over there.
I'm about to change back to the 4AC5s.
Target acquired.
I'm running. I'm not actually running AC2s. I've got 2 UX and 2 5s. I just like the way it fires better. It's not quite as good as Dakka, but it's dunk.
Jesus Christ, but the Atlases!
The new meta, man.
Acquired.
Well, until tomorrow, anyway.
New meta, weigh as much as possible.
Which is really like the oldest. Well, he's true.
New target acquired.
Let's put him out of his misery.
Anyway, clan machine gun noises probably have to be the same thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, Clan Machine Gun is fucking...
It's just this deep rumbly of it's like a 50 cal firing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I just want to hold it and just caress it and do dirty things to it.
Indeed.
I'll be honest.
Yep, exactly. I mean, if anything, if that was the only sound that they changed, I'd be satisfied.
Also, Seth the Best says overheating. What is
Nice
an
sense.
amateur hour? So Ghozzt apparently should not be overheating.
Amateur
so much.
hour? No, it's me overheating, and I'm
Oh, was it
apparently
you?
amateur hour, even though I'm
Wow.
top scorer on our team in
Well,
the
I
whole
mean,
game.
you know, hey, stop being amateur hour, man.
It's alright.
How does he know you overheated if it's going through?
Because I'm the only one alive, and I'm assuming that Ghozzt is watching me.
Indeed, you were the last one.
All right. Let's go on to the next point here, which is the look and feel of the clan mechs, which is our last general impressions thread. Personally, I think all of the clan mechs are super duper sexy. I think they're gorgeous, and seeing them move just makes it even better. They're really, really nice. They did a very good job. The only thing that I've heard was that the feet actuators on some of them are off center.
I believe
Yes.
it was the Kit Fox and the Storm Crow had some.
And
some
also
issues.
I believe it was the Direwolf suffered from that issue as well.
Was the Direwolf as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice it quite as much Sunday, but I think that's going to be. I mean, really, foot actuators is that the biggest complaint we have? I'm pretty sure that can take a little time to get fixed.
Yeah, I feel like that they updated the artwork just as much as they should have. That they still very much have that iconic feel,
Yes.
but they're all kind of sleeker and meaner looking.
I'm very much, I think, a fan of the Warhawk anymore. I think it's just it's angled, it's boxy, it just does everything, and it makes me quite happy with its overall design. The other thing about clan mechs, all weapons are realized, so it's no longer waiting for somebody to go back and do a once over and make sure hey, we'd updated the Ravens, and now finally your AC-20 will show up in the shoulder. Anything you put on a mech is realized, and that's cool just from the visualization aspect.
I agree.
If you're really good without even being able to see somebody, you can start picking up, without actually having locked onto somebody, just by looking at them, you can start to pick up what weapons they have and how much of a threat they are to you. Which, if you're an especially good pilot, could be a useful thing for the future. I don't know how much that'll come into play, but it could be interesting at least.
Have you guys seen the UAC 10 and 20 on a Warhawk?
I haven't seen it, but it sounds kind of nasty.
It is triple barreled and not like any of the other ones, and it's much cooler looking.
That's
It's got a massive baffle on the end. It's very cool. Way better than double shotgun looking thing.
I guess the other thing to mention here, besides how they look, is the hitboxes. And with the exception of the Direwolf, which will come up a little later on in the show, I can say that the clan mechs have fantastic hitboxes. Surprisingly, particularly the Timberwolf. The Timberwolf is tough as nails.
It is very survivable. If you torso twist, you will get a lot of mileage out of it. Now, if you just run straight at people, yes, they will pick you apart. But, I mean, granted, at the same time, did really any of us expect them not to do the Timberwolf the best out of all of them? I mean, just like you said, the Timberwolf is just, it's ideal at what it does. And it soaks up damage, it throws out a lot of damage. If you're running the S variant, which everybody's going to be running at least S somewhere so they can have the jump jets on there, it does a little bit of everything. and I can't fault them for making it that mech. Like, it's the ideal new Cataphract, except better for clans.
I agree. I think it's definitely a very potent platform to be utilizing right now, especially since it really kind of fits right in with the meta that's currently being pushed out from the IS side.
Yeah, it's a nice machine. Let's see here.
I'd still say, I know a couple of you brought it up before, it still looks a tad leggy to me. It just has very long legs, but the way basically everything from legs up to me looks utterly fantastic. It could probably use a little bit of scaling down, but I don't know if they tried to measure it to exact height about where it should be, compared to actual like Sarna databases. But
did you notice with? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it looks basically spot on. Other than that,
Yeah, I think it's also pretty cool how they nailed the like almost perfect weight transfer design that they've put into a lot of the clan mechs. Before, the IS mechs tend to walk a lot more stiff, but a lot of the clan mechs, especially the Timberwolf, I saw a lot of weight shifting. It looks like it's moving the body left to right a lot more than the other ones are. So they definitely put a lot of time into the overall design and how they move. I think they nailed it.
Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems.
yeah, as one of the people that was going to be most upset if they did it poorly, I have basically zero. Actually, no, I will go ahead and say I have zero complaints. I have zero complaints about the way things look, feel, or interact. And that's something I haven't said in a long, long time. Actually, I don't think I've ever said that in this game. That's the first time I've ever said that.
I can say that in my opinion that if the public test server is any indication of how the actual release is going to go, I think the clan release is going to be the best release that they've put out at all.
I completely concur with that.
All right, so let's lead in. So we've talked about this a little bit, or touched on it. Let's lead into some potential foreseen balance issues with the clan mix. Everyone knows clan tech is sleek, sexy, and terribly badass. So there's been a lot of worry on basically any forum or method of communicating about this game that it is going to be completely broken and totally unfair, and clan mechs are just going to wipe the floor with Intersphere mechs, and Intersphere mechs will be completely obsolete. There has been a much smaller minority who's been like, oh no, clan tech, they're going to ruin it, it's not going to be worth its weight, and the IS pinpoint meta will reign supreme for all time, and clans will be worthless. I have to say, after playing it on the public test server, and now I don't see them changing enough for my impression to be different, I think they did a very good job balancing the clan mechs. I was very impressed. I feel like that those worries are misplaced at this point.
I agree.
Right.
New target acquired.
I'm going to be the disagreeer here. I'm going to say to make standardized builds of what they used to be, and they've basically stayed true to tabletop as far as I know for just about everything for tonnage wise as far as clan equipment goes.
The stalker on data.
There is just so much damage those things can throw out. Like, it doesn't matter if pinpoint damage, whatever, blah blah blah, Intersphere. It doesn't matter what Intersphere meta is going to be. The amount of damage those things have available to them, even a medium, is just insane. And I don't think Intersphere mechs are going to be able to keep up with it. Now, I think in the future, once the Intersphere Omnis get here, yes. But I actually see them, especially when Community Warfare gets here, I see them maybe doing a balance of numbers issue, the more so than balance of weapons, because I don't think you can balance the weapons anymore.
I'll agree, and I'm actually kind of hoping that we get a numbers balance, because that would please the lore purist in me.
Yes. As a clan pilot, I would be more than happy to fight 10v12. Or if you wanted to go even higher, make it 16 on, or well, not 16. I suppose.
Let's push down on Echo 4.
The next closest would be a full trinary, do 15 on 20. if they get maps that big eventually.
Ooh, I don't know. Can you imagine doing that on, say, like Forest Colony?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They'd have to get larger maps and restrict it to 15 on 20
Yeah, I'm
only
saying
on
they'd
certain
have
maps.
they'd have to take those maps out of the rotation.
Yeah,
basically.
well, they should be doing that already anyway.
Target
We
acquired.
shouldn't still be
Hotel
12 on
shuttle.
12 in Assault on River
Hotel.
City is just a bit ridiculous, and we all
Yeah.
because it's just I'm going to stay in my turrets longer than you will, and more of my LRMs will hit you than yours will hit me, and I win. So there's certain maps that I think already need to be adjusted down a bit in terms of number of players, but I mean that's neither here nor there. That's something that's more of a long-term possible goal that they may or may not have. I'd like to see it, and given that your game is originally 8v8, I don't know how hard it'd be to reintegrate. Like, let's go back to doing
Right.
8v8 for
Ammo.
Well,
say 2 or
most
3 of the
of-
maps.
Most of the competitive scenes have actually made the decision to move back to AV8.
Honestly, that makes sense
Acquired.
because it usually, except for a
Let's
few
push in on
maps,
him in data.
maybe Tourmaline and Alpine among them,
I'll
8v8
fly behind
just
him.
works better.
Yeah. Juliet.
We're losing battle caps.
Don't know if it's going to matter here in a minute.
Target acquired.
But that
So you got
being
3 left
said,
alive. Let's break up and cap.
You guys go to the Sigma door, I'll go to the Kappa door.
Right.
Since I'm slow.
All right. So,
Let's fan out.
you've mentioned their damage potential a little bit, Alex.
Yes.
Of clan mechs, and I think everyone's thinking of the same battle mech when we talk about clan mechs and damage potential. So, let's talk about the Dire Wolf for a minute.
It's pinpoint damage potential. The Dire Wolf has its faults. Mainly it's slow as shit, and it's gigantic. And it doesn't have very good hitboxes yet. You shoot near its center torso, you're going to hit its center torso, period. It's just, you're going to hit its center torso. That being said, if you don't LRM it on the way in, or already strike it once it's near you, if it can see you, and the little guy in the cockpit can see you, and you're, say, within, I don't know, 500 meters, you are then dead. There's nothing you can
Target
do
acquired.
except die. Especially given some of the builds that I saw multiple times.
Contact Delta 7.
Both Thursday and Sunday. I mean, the pair of Ghozzt, pair of PPCs, that just wrecks face.
I just
Ultra
DC'd.
20s wreck face. I've seen people running multiple LVX 20s, especially up close. That is just horrifying. Even I like the Prime build myself, and I pulled several decent games yesterday just doing that and shooting from a distance. And I think that's going to be the thing where if you're an industry pilot and you're on tomorrow and you see a direwolf coming towards you, do not engage it. Run away and shoot it in the back, because that's about all you can do.
Yeah, well, you can, if you've got, like, if it's by itself and you've got, like, 4 other guys with you, go ahead and engage it.
Right.
But
that's
don't
that's,
fight it by yourself.
Yes, exactly. And that's if your lance is off by itself and he got left alone in the back and trying to catch up.
Yep. So, obviously, because we haven't mentioned it yet, but it bears mentioning here, clan autocannons do not have the front-loaded damage of inner sphere autocannons. They are burst fire. They split their damage up into smaller shells that are fired periodically when you push the button. So an AC fire is bap, 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 and each shell is like 1.6 damage, as opposed to all of it being 5 damage in one shell.
Just for those who did not get to play in the test, I think the UAC 5 was 3 shots.
It's 3 shots.
The UAC 10 was, I believe, 4 to 5 shots.
It's 4 shots. Each is 2.5, and the UAC 20 is 5 shots.
I believe.
All each 4 damage.
Yes. So I mean,
and the UAC 2 is 2 shots. Each shot 1 damage.
It's almost better and worse in a way, because It's not all that pinpoint damage that the Inner mechs get. Now, that being said, there are regular clan weapon systems. There's a regular clan 20 as well.
But they still use the burst fire mechanic. They don't front load it.
Oh, do they?
It's just you can't double tap it.
Gotcha.
And coupled with this, clan PPCs. The clans do not have the cool running standard PPC with the minimum range. They only have the ER PPC, which is just as hot as the Inner Sphere PPC. Now, in tabletop, this balanced out a little bit. Whatever balance you could get from tabletop was that the clan ER PPC did more damage. It did 15 instead of 10. Now, in this game, the clan ER PPC does still do 15 damage, but 2.5 of that damage is split off on each side of the adjacent part that the mech you're hitting has. So it'll be 10 damage in one place, and then 2.5 damage in two other places, for a grand total of 15. Coupled with the high heat of this build, plus the fact that clan autocannons are burst fire, this means that there are very, very few clan mechs that can properly run a pinpoint sniping meta, which is, right now, the current meta. The clans, however, have many more choices than the Inner Sphere does in terms of weapon design. So, I guess that leads into the open room question, which is, since the clans aren't going to be terribly good at the jump sniping pinpoint meta, with one or two exceptions, what do you think will be the dominant playstyle and meta of clan mechs?
I was using some SRMs yesterday. Not that it's going to be the meta, but they were registering 100% and getting me some pretty damn decent damage.
Oh, is that match over, by the way?
Yes,
it is.
Did we lose?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
It was 11 kills.
Do you need another invite, Sans?
Not sure. No, it says I'm still in group.
Okay.
Alright, so, I'm sorry, Dontor, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep going.
Oh,
SRMs
yeah,
registering
something like
gives
SRMs.
us,
Oh, right.
more an option to use. Well, what I had was a Ryokan max speed, 2 clan ER PPCs, 2 Artemis SRM6s, and the rest dual heat sinks, and I was getting precision damage to the PPCs the whole game, and then up close finishing with SRM6s that were registering, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
Stormcrow.
Yes.
My impression of it was that clan weapons excelled at the extreme range bracket and at the extreme close range bracket. In the middle ground, that's where the IS mechs kind of have their heyday, because they can use cover and jump jets to really lay on that front-loaded pinpoint without... Disagree?
The amount of slurms you can throw on Timberwolves and Direwolves, or not Direwolves, on Warhawks is... Okay, if you're going to say the mid-range is weak...
Lerms don't matter anymore. The module came out that negates them.
Yeah, there's a module
Inner
that
mechs
basically...
have how many ECM capable mechs? That's what they're going to be bringing. We're not going to do Lerms. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to work. I gotta agree with Dontor on that.
I don't agree with either of you, because you have so much weight that either everyone's going to be bringing SRMs, which you can only use inside 270 or 360, depending on which version you bring. Unless, I could be wrong, are all clan SRMs now 360? Or was it just Streaks that got the range boost?
Just
okay.
Streaks.
So just Streaks 360, regular SRMs are 270. Unless you're willing to accept a smaller weapon system like that, in which case you probably already have something decent for close range, like you're bringing an Ultra 10 or an Ultra 20. You don't need that extra close range damage. You have so much spare tonnage, why not throw an LRM on there? I think you're right. I think the new module will make a difference, but I don't know if everyone's willing to use that module over hill climb, over target info gathering, over arty strike, over airstrike, over UAV. I just don't know if that's going to be a priority, and as long as that's not a priority, I think LRMs on clan mechs could be a difference maker, just because there's so many available chassis to run them on. I
I think
don't
to
know.
see an actual game how many people bring that module, because we
Right.
know-it-all right now.
I mean, I know that's the first module I buy tomorrow. That's the first new module I am buying because I'm going to run my Direwolf and my Warhawk first, I'm pretty sure. With the exception I might switch out to the Timby and the Summoner. I like the Summoner quite a bit too. Basically everything heavy in assaults. But that's going to be the first module I buy because it makes a huge difference. Because now all of a sudden you can either hill hump or you can building peak, immediately get back into cover, and now those LRMs just lost lock on you. Now, a way around that would be, does Narc come back in? And
There's a Narc module, so I think so.
Does Narc then play a bigger role? I mean, you're starting to see it now already. It used to be nobody ran Narc. Now I see probably 1 out of every 2 to 3 matches I play, somebody gets Narked. So, that being said, I could see the Narc coming back as a way. I don't think LRMs are ever going to go away.
The issue with the Narc is, for the IS side, usually the Raven was the one that was carrying the Narcs. Well, you can get the Raven boosted up to a pretty fast speed. However, the Kit Fox, on the other hand, even with the ECM cover, is still going to have issues with getting, I think, jump sniped by a lot of the Iron mechs before it can get close enough to utilize that Narc. I think it's going to be, if you can actually utilize the LRMs, they'll be very potent, but I think in most of your competition matches, it's going to kind of go out the door a bit. It's going to be intermittent at best.
All right. Well, we're running our clock a little bit here, so let's go ahead and jump over to the next question, which kind of will fold into the question we just had, which is, does the Inner Sphere stand a chance against Clan-Tech?
Give me a slight escort for when I retreat.
Where are you at, Dontor?
Just stay at the shore so that way when I start running away.
Alright. But that's like, I think what's on everyone's mind is, are Inner Sphere mechs going to become obsolete? Does the Inner Sphere stand a chance against Clan-Tech? Personally, I don't see the Dragon Slayers ceasing being the most competitive mech in the game in terms of like the competitive field. It's just too fast, too tough, and too capable of supporting a very nice pinpoint build on it.
Blackjack for the Alpha and Delta 3.
Alpha's coming around the corner there.
Yep, left side barge.
I think he might have stopped. Gotten wise.
Ghozzt hasn't had too much input this evening. What's Ghozzt's opinion of that?
Ooh, I think it's actually more along the lines of what we had talked about a couple months ago, actually, Alex. I really believe that the clans are going to be superior in that whole brawling function. I mean, just some of the builds that you can pull to the table, brawling-wise, are just going to outweigh. God help them if we can get within range.
New target acquired.
Aside from that, I think that the IS still has their niche, obviously, with the whole pop-tarting, but you know, that'll only do so much. Echo.
Cataphract.
Yep, Cataphract.
Got him. Ooh, standard engine. Oh wait, yeah, that's a weird loadout.
Well, personally, I think that Inner Sphere mechs are going to be alright. I think that they might need to, when Community Warfare comes out, I think that they might need to change the balance to 12 Inner Sphere mechs per 10 clan mechs. But other than that, I do not see the Inner Sphere being so heavily outclassed by clan mechs that the Inner Sphere mechs are completely obsolete. And you can talk about omnipods all you want, but the fact of the matter is that most Inner Sphere mechs, when you get down to it, have far more space and tonnage for weapons than clan mechs do. Even accounting for the fact that clan mechs are lighter. I mean, that clan weapons are lighter.
New target
Like,
acquired.
let's compare the Timberwolf to the Cataphract. Now, the Timberwolf has 5 tons on the Cataphract, and it has, with that 5 tons, because of its massive engine, about 25 tons of pod space. The Cataphract competitively, with the XL280 engine, has almost 40 tons of space for weaponry. This is not a small difference. This is a 15-ton difference, which is not covered by the fact that clan weapons are lighter. Now, the Cataphract pays for that, by being more fragile than the Timberwolf, but I honestly don't think the gap is big enough that a good Cataphract pilot is just going to get reamed by an average Timberwolf pilot.
I think the gap is more than big enough when you look at the fact that, like, so say, okay, what's the build you're thinking of on that Cataphract then?
Well, the meta build right now would be 2 AC5s and 2 PPCs, or 2 AC5s and a Ghozzt rifle.
Alright, so the Timberwolf's already going to gain tonnage back. Alright, let's say 2 PPCs and a Ghozzt rifle, right? The Timberwolf is already going to gain tonnage back. It's going to gain, what, 4 tons back by doing a clan Ghozzt instead of a regular Ghozzt?
3 tons.
3 tons. So 3 tons back by doing that. I'm engaging this Atlas over here, by the way.
Chili gets open core.
They're all open core. Let's push them.
It's going to gain another ton back on each PPC. Its PPCs do additional 2.5 damage to each side torso.
Sorry about that, Ghozzt.
New target acquired.
Lemus pulling around. Atlas behind us.
Yep.
It has better hitboxes. It can take more damage. I just don't. I don't see the Innisphere being able to complete. I think Innisphere Omnis are the solution, but I see this being exactly like the Clan Invasion of 3050, where you've got a massive amount of damage, and the Innisphere is not going to have a response to it. And I don't see them having a response to it. I think Innisphere Omnis are the response, which is what the Innisphere did. But as far as what else they can do to that, I see them needing probably to take out 10 clan mechs, needing 12 to 15, or at least say 200 extra tons on whatever the clans are bringing. So you could either take that as 5 more 40-ton mediums or 2 more Atlases. I see that being the only way around that.
Well, obviously this is a contentious topic that's really going to continue to be a contentious topic until the Innisphere gets their own.
Well, until tomorrow. I mean, that's going to be it's going to be the metrics of the community,
right?
And that's going to be the thing that'll change. You know, as you brought up before, you know, PGI said they can't nerf it down too much more. So then maybe it becomes a numbers balance issue, which would be great. I'd love that. But until we get that or Innisphere Omnis, no.
All right. Well, let's move on to some tips and warnings to the Innisphere pilots who either did not, for whatever reason, did not buy into the clan pack and don't intend to buy clan mechs anyway. It's you know, there are pilots who prefer to play Innisphere. So
I salute you, Innisphere diehards.
yes, the odds are stacked against you, yet you continue on. But we'll help out a little bit here and suggest what Innisphere pilots can expect from clan mechs.
Expect to be face rolled.
That is not helpful. That is not helpful.
Nova should be priority. They
that
so many hard points and the capability to fill them all and be heat efficient. It's nuts. Who was I playing? I was playing with Ghozzt yesterday. Had 10 clan medium lasers, and he had 1,000 damage just from doing one arm at a time. It was nuts.
Yeah.
Sans had one that was 1,500 yesterday.
I did.
In a Nova?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be a priority target for everybody.
Yeah. The 2 pearls of wisdom I would bestow on Innisphere pilots is avoid dire wolves because they're slow enough that you can, and kill Novas whenever possible. Novas are no fucking joke. They are 50 tons, yes, they're the same weight as a hunchback. A Nova is so much more dangerous than a hunchback that it's difficult to explain it without you having been shot at by one or having shot at someone while in one.
Agreed.
It is a deadly mech. It is probably the deadliest clan mech at close range.
I would have to build off of that and just say there's not too many medium mechs that I can go out and come face to face with a nasty assault and think, well, you just messed up on the other team.
I'd expand on that even further. The Nova is nasty, but it requires you to get close. So if you're running AC5s, PPCs, large lasers, start taking that thing out from a distance. Because it will most likely, while the clan mediums will reach out to 900 meters, you need to be aware of that, but they aren't going to be doing full damage till 450. Once they get into that magic box and you haven't started to do any damage to their CT, run for your life, because that's about the only thing you can do. If it gets close to you, you've had it. The opposite is said of clan assaults. Both the Warhawk and the Direwolf, at least the standard loadouts on them, a lot of long-range weapons. Get in close, run circles around them. They'll have a hard time tracking you. Now, that being said, a lot of people will probably be switching stuff out tomorrow. It seemed like some people were getting more comfortable in a certain long-range meta, at least by Sunday evening. But I'm sure people are going to still be messing around quite a bit these first several weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Be aware, Ultra 20s will hurt. Ultra 10s will hurt. I've seen 4 Ultra 10s on Direwolf that's fairly heat efficient. That's nasty. Don't get near that. That will mess you up. But beyond that kind of thing, just kind of run circles around them, and their torso twist isn't that great. They're pretty slow, and they've got big, wide backs for you to lay into.
Having piloted the Massive... I almost used the industry name. Having piloted the Warhawk, I gotta disagree with you. I think that the Direwolf is exactly the way you describe it, but I would hesitate to approach a Warhawk.
Well, the
at
Warhawk
close range,
is the
depending
80,
on its build.
It's the 85-ton Mac. It's a stalker, right? So
It's far
fast
more
stalker.
nimble than a stalker.
Yeah, but I would still say, compared to anything else in the clan field, that is the only other one where you can comfortably try and be more mobile than it. Because it still only runs 71, you know?
With speed tweak, yeah, but we're talking about, I mean, I guess I didn't play it as much as I played my Direwolf, so I guess we'll see how that pans out tomorrow. But like I said, I would look at its build. I would look at the build on a Warhawk before I approached it, because a Warhawk with close range weapons will probably just kill you. He will not have the problem of hitting
You can do
with the
4
Direwolf
Artemis
will.
SRM6s with plenty of backup weapons.
Yeah.
And those are going to register, so you're going to want to.
Yes, that is true.
25. Fuel at
All right,
0.
so-
Or streak 6s, and that's another thing to be aware of the next couple
Yeah.
days.
So,
Streaks will do a lot of damage, but their cooldown timer's insane right now.
their
And they're
cooldown
spread,
timers
so
is
they're
terrible.
doo-doo against anything that you don't like.
I think that the standard clan SRMs are the dangerous ones at this point in
Now
time.
that SRM's registered, there's not nearly as much of a reason to bring streaks like we've been doing for months.
Yeah. And okay, let's move on to a couple of balance suggestions. What do the people in this room feel like needs to change for clan mechs in terms of balance? If they had suggestions.
Crickets.
Yeah, we got
Cricket?
no way to know. I mean, the damage over time AC is a pretty huge balancing factor if you ask me.
Yeah, I would
That's
agree
a
with that.
giant difference from anything industry related.
I do have to comment that I actually think that they need to pass over the Direwolf's hitboxes again. I understand that it has to have some balancing elements, and having hitboxes that aren't great compared to, say, the Atlas is one of those balancing elements. But right now, it is possible to hit the Direwolf's center torso from every single
Echo awesome. Left flank.
Yeah, we've got about 4, 5 up here in the Delta 3 area.
Victor on top of Citadel.
Target
Yeah, I see. It's a Dragon Slayer.
Got a Ghozzt and 2 PCs.
I would like to see the Direwolf center torso slim down a little bit and have some of
Agreed.
the hitbox space moved to side torsos. Other than that, I really don't think that there's much we can say about balancing this early on into their release,
5%.
before they're even
At
properly
0%.
released.
I could see them nerfing down ER lasers a bit as well. Their
ER
range,
lasers?
at least. Yes.
Yeah, maybe. They're really potent.
They're potent and they reach so far. I mean, I love that my ER mediums reach out to 900, but I don't really need 900. I could
New target
be happy with
acquired.
800, 750 even. And beyond, it's just a lot of range that I don't know if there's an easy counter for it right now. So I would say that would be another thing that I'd be completely okay with if they went back over.
As much as it pains me to say it, I think that maybe the ER small laser needs to have its damage reduced by just a tad.
Yeah.
It's a scary weapon.
Oh, that also being said, fact of the day for anybody getting Clan Max tomorrow, or fact of the day for anybody who's piloting against them, hopefully you run into Clan Max with pulse lasers. Hopefully people that have Clan Max pull off their pulse lasers, because right now they're doing less damage than standards, they are more heat than standards, and they have less range than standards. Unless they update it since Sunday and Thursday, which I don't think it was a priority, pull off all your medium lasers if you're all of your pulses if you're a clan pilot, and
clan
hopefully,
pulses suck.
yes. There's a whole post about it on the MWO forum somewhere that somebody went into, or it might have been Reddit. I don't remember. It was somewhere. Somebody went into all the numbers for it, but
I saw a post about it on the outreach.
Yes, I think that might have been the place. It might have got copied over to the forums as well. I'm not sure.
All right, in that vein of balance issues, there are a couple of new weapon mechanics that have been introduced with the Clan Max. Of these mechanics, do you feel that there are any of them that should be carried over to current Inner-Sphere weapon systems? The three that we've got here are the arcing damage effect of PPCs, the LRM ripple fire effect, which is that they fire in a stream instead of all at once, and then the burst fire mechanic of autocannon. Thoughts on carrying this over to current Inner-Sphere versions of these weapons?
Goes down.
No thoughts?
I've been talking on that, yes.
Okay.
Repeat the question.
Should any of the current clan designs be carried over to Inner-Sphere weapons?
Yes, I believe that the PPC splash damage should be carried over. I think that they should nerf the spike a little bit on it and then give us a bit more spread. I believe that's an excellent way of battling the Pop-Tarts, amongst other things, trying to steer away from the whole pinpoint damage, because it does kill them faster, but let's be honest, it definitely takes away some of the fun side of the game as far as lore is concerned.
I agree, and I think that would go a long way towards time to kill, reducing time to kill, which has always been one of this game's big issues in terms of balance. At first I felt like maybe the autocannon burst fire effect should have been carried to the Inner-Sphere as well, but after playing it, I don't think that's necessary. I think that for the extra tonnage weight that Inner-Sphere pilots have to pay in order to use their autocannons, and the other nerfs Inner-Sphere weapons have compared to clan weapons, I think front-loading the damage on autocannons for the Inner-Sphere is actually okay.
Honestly, I'd say on both of those issues, I'd take a wait-and-see look. Honestly, I think it's going to kind of depend on where the community ends up landing on how powerful clan mechs and builds are in general, and I wouldn't want to see any sort of pinpoint damage taken away from them if that is their comeback to clan weapons. I like the idea. I like what you guys are saying for both those weapon systems, but until it proves necessary, like if Inner-Sphere mechs are just dominating clans, then yeah, do that PPC change, then maybe do some AC changes. But as of right now, I'd say leave them where they're at least for a first month, and see how everything stacks up before anything gets changed.
Yeah.
That being said, the looks of some of the clan weapons, I do wish that they would apply to Inner-Sphere variants. The new PPC look of the clan ER PPC looks fantastic. Its noises are fantastic. It's back to kind of what we were talking about at the beginning with the UI and the look of things. I wish they'd apply a lot of the same mechanics and the way everything looks and feels to the Innistrad variants.
I wish the
I gotta
PvC
disagree.
sounded the same. I don't think so.
Yeah, I gotta disagree. I actually like that the clan mechs have different visual effects and different sound effects. If that's like the thing we get as clan players, then I want it. The Innistrad can keep their old
It's
sound
supposed to be a
effects.
pretty vast technological difference, and it shows right now. If Innistrad was to get the same models and sounds, it'd be blended
Yeah.
together too much.
Indeed, I think it would definitely take away something from it. You need to have that separation that makes you feel immersed in a more recent or advanced technological masterpiece.
Yep.
All right, we've got about 15 more minutes for the stream, and time for one more drop, and we'll end it out on a future predictions question. What do we think are going to be the next clan mechs released?
Okay, first let's start with the lights.
Yeah, we've talked about Fire Moth. I vote for the Fire Moth.
Would you say Dontor?
Mist Lynx. I'm on a clan Ghost Bear Light.
The Fire Moth is a clan Ghost Bear Light.
Yeah, but I went with missiles. It's kind of like a commando to me.
Firemoth
The
has
fu-
missiles too.
The Fire Moth has missiles.
Yeah, I'm for the Fire Moth as well.
The Fire
How many
Moth
tons
is
is a
way
Fire
more.
Moth?
It's 20 tons. It's way more like a
20
commander
feet,
than
25.
Mist Lynx is.
That's why I want the Mist Lynx, because 25 though.
And can you say Fire Moth versus Locust brawling?
The
Oh
issue-
yeah.
The issue with the Fire Moth is that the Fire Moth is a mask-using mech. So we probably won't see it until mask is properly implemented in the game.
I have no say in any of these until the end because I have a grand unifying theory. So you guys go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I think the most contentious of the choices here is the medium slot. The two mediums that are not present that should be in this time period are the Viper and the Shadow Cat. I think the Viper is the most obvious candidate. Alex thinks the Shadow Cat is the better choice. So, for those of you who don't know, the Viper is basically the clan version of a cicada, and the Shadow Cat is sort of the clan version of a blackjack.
Except better in every single way.
Right. Including looks.
Isn't it like 120 kph or something like that?
The Viper is. The Shadow Cat is the same speed as a Stormcrow.
But I'm gonna get into that. Continue.
Can't Shadow Cats get ECM though?
I do not know, actually.
Heavies. Mad Dog.
Versus the Hellbringer. I think most
Indeed.
of the people in this room are voting for the Mad Dog.
Better be there.
And-
Better be there.
Yeah, as a clan Ghost Bear, officer, I kind of am hoping for at least one mech from the clan Ghost Bear Tillman, as there aren't any in the current release. We feel a bit left out. I would like to see some Ghost Bear mechs in the upcoming releases. And the Mad Dog is about as Ghost Bear as a mech gets, with the exception of the next mech on our list.
Indeed. Assault.
Which is the only one that I have on our list is the Executioner, because its competition is the Gargoyle, and I think given the choice between the Executioner and the Gargoyle, people are going to buy the Executioner. Plus, the Executioner's just fucking cool. It is the coolest assault, in my opinion.
Not sure if I follow that opinion 100%, but I agree. It should be there.
You should.
Dontor, anything?
No, I like the Executioner. I want that.
Alright. So let's hear the rebuttal of
The
Mr.
grand
Alex.
unifying theory? Yes.
Indeed.
Well, before I get to grand unifying theory, I want to say a special thanks to Seth the Best and Tyson for being around most of the evening. Noxon also just joined us as well. Thank you to all the Ghost Bear members for coming out and support and engaging in chat. We'd love to hear from you. That being said, grand unifying theory time. Out of those mechs that we just listed, the Fire Moth has mask. The Shadow Cat has mask. Neither the Mad Dog nor the Hellbringer have mask, so that's kind of an up in the air one. But the Executioner also has mask. I predict a mask pack. They put mask in the game. Here's 4 mechs. bada bing, bada boom. I'd say, given what we know right now, either the Hellbringer or the Mad Dog gets released first in, say, a separate pack, and then they include one of them in the Mask pack anyway.
You are at 0%.
I think you're probably going to see either Mask is a priority, and that's going to be the next thing we see, are those 3 mechs plus one of the random heavies, or they put out the other 4 heavies first, which would be the Mistlynx, the Viper, again, the Mad Dog or the Hellbringer, and the Gargoyle. And then follow that with the Mask hack early, say, next spring. Again, I don't know. That it's more of a question of what they're working on and what they want to create as priority, but I can see definitely a Mask-capable pack or a Mask, hey, here we got this working, here's 4 new chassis, go play.
Watch the LRMs here.
And perhaps that's just me reading too much into the tech at the time, but I find it interesting that out of those choices, at least 3 out of the 4 have a Mask variant possible. So maybe
in the case
that's
of the Firemoth, all of its variants have Mask.
I wouldn't put it past them though to toss out those chassis without the Mask variant present.
Yeah. My theory is that it's more of a marketing thing, and they're going to do a Clan Ghost Bear specific pack, because all of the battle mechs that got left out are very conspicuously Ghost Bear Tumen mechs. There are no Ghost Bear, or at least specifically themed Ghost Bear mechs in the current release of Clan mechs. There are some that Clan Ghost Bear uses, but none of them are strongly associated with the clan.
I think you just want PGI to show us a little bit too much love. And while I like that your head's there, I don't think that's the case, sir.
Aww.
I would completely love, like, hey, CGB, come get your pack, because it's awesome. Except pay us more money, so...
Well, we're not the only CGB, come on.
Well, that's true, but we are the CGB in this channel talking right now, so, I mean, that's, kind of my point.
Get that Fireband's torso. That side torso is bright red. There he goes.
Banshee's nearly dead too.
Juliet, it is.
Where is my
At least that's my thought process on it. I see it more likely as a, hey, we got the Mask mechanic working, and so we're going to do this, rather than a CGB special pack. But either way.
Maybe we'll finally get the fleet once this happens.
That would be interesting. I don't know what other 30, 50 Intersphere mechs are Mask capable. But almost a dual pack, say? An Intersphere Mask capable pack and a Clan Mask capable pack? Perhaps? Again,
Clan battle mechs.
I don't know. I don't know exactly how that would work out, but it could be possible.
Charlie, Arrow, and Delta 4.
I know a lot of people have been asking for the fleet. Granted, a lot of people have been asking for the Irby, too, so, I mean, we don't always get what we want. I mean, unless you fit up...
Please move Dragon Slayer.
Unless you fit up a spider, like a magical Irby.
New target acquired.
Right?
So many heretics, so little time. Several of them are down in the Delta 4 Valley, by the way, if you guys want to drop down and engage.
Lima is taking pot shots at me. He blew my left arm off. I'm basically neutered.
Engaging golf.
New target acquired.
Jerk ass meta mech.
Probably should not be engaging golf, yeah, because that's going to happen to me if I engage golf. Silly ace.
New target acquired.
Yeah, that will be one thing that I will be happy if it goes away via the Clan Max. The stupid AC-20 meta that's still been here since the dawn of time.
I have never liked Boom Jaegers. I know Deadeye would be unhappy to hear that. I've expressed it to him in the past, but I just don't like them. I don't think they're... I just don't like them. They're... I just, you know...
Yeah, you can shoot one bullet all the time. I took one.
Yeah.
Well,
Here's,
no,
here's my one weapon system.
no, but that's in Call of Duty. You don't use one weapon system because all you use is your noob tube constantly. So I mean, that's
That's
not
the
even.
same exact.
It's not even a weapon system. It's just I win button. It's just pressing the I win button over and over. At least you have to aim in this game.
It's just a reference to how boring AC-40 is.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's
I think it's kind of boring. Among other things.
But it does kill quite.
At
It does
55%.
Now,
It
this
does
is
sound
not
cool as well.
this is not true of everyone who uses it, but I notice a lot in pug play that the AC-40 Jaeger encourages very bad habits in terms of teamwork.
Indeed.
It
I'm gonna help out with
I
Gamma.
don't need a team. I'm the greatest
No.
person to ever play.
it's more
No,
along
I'm
the
gonna
lines
sit
of
back and wait for him to get
yeah,
hurt.
I'm not going to help our team fight until the very end, and then
That
I'm
could
going
be
to clean
as
up,
well,
which I think is poor sportsmanship to the extreme.
But at the same time, there's always a position for the people to finish off mechs. I mean, I think
Yeah, but I think
if you're working in teamwork and you're aware of that being a position within your own lance or star, then it's okay. You know what I mean? As long as that's what's expected of you, is to come in and clean up. That way you can focus on the next fresh mech.
Yep.
But I feel like there's better loadouts to do that with it.
Agreed.
Such as the massive amount of machine gun Jaeger.
The tickle monster. What a lovely
Indeed.
mech.
You can do the 6 machine gun direwolf.
You can.
That would sound really cool.
You know, I'm still going to run it because we said last week at some point that you would not expect me to. The all small pulse laser, all machine gun direwolf will come out of the closet one day. Preferably on this program because I think that would be glorious.
Alright. So under 10.
Indeed.
I wouldn't even care. Don't even care.
Well, I think that was a good bit
Yep,
of information we've dished
we've
out. So
about hit our hour mark, and we got a chance to get a lot of the clan stuff out of our systems that we've been sitting on since the public test server. Both drops in the public test server, and we had a pretty good win-loss ratio here. I think we only lost one, and it was because of Cap.
however, I did shut down due to overheating that one time. I apologize.
I
Well-
don't even know how I did all night. I just kind of shot things and talked. So
I don't know. I didn't overheat my triple Ghozzt.
Yeah.
I was roasting.
Right.
I would
Very
like to
well
also
done, yeah.
encourage the anyone that is watching that they would please provide us with some feedback.
Also, I think Smurfy's has Clan Mix now.
Yep, Smurfy's does have Clan X now.
Indeed. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, this has been Clan Ghost Bear's BearNet. We will be back again at a scheduled time on Monday. I have just got a ping from Ancient Demise about maybe doing something sooner for the clan release, but that's up in the air. We will make a note about it if it happens.
Indeed.
And thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
And remember, the Emperor protects.
Selah.
Selah.